Ghana Tertiary Commission warns public universities against arbitrary increases in academic fees without prior approval by Parliament. Also coming up, Ghana Police Service through its Special Support Unit arrests 3 suspects in connection with a string of armed robberies in parts of the Greater Accra region. And much later on the program, Industrial and Commercial Workers Union ICU urges Ghanaian workers to recommit themselves to productivity, discipline and national development in the year 2026. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission has cautioned the public universities against increasing academic fees without the requisite approval from Parliament. The warning follows reports that the University of Ghana has increased its 2025-2026 academic year fees by more than 25%, a development that has triggered concern among students, parents and other stakeholders. GTEC says it has taken note of the report and will be writing formally to the University of Ghana to rectify the information. Speaking on the matter, the Director General of GTEC, Professor Abdullahi Jenapo, stressed that the Commission's earlier directive that there should be no increment in academic fees this year remains firmly in force. Professor Jenapo reiterated that under existing regulations, public universities are required to seek approval through the appropriate channels before implementing any fee adjustment, particularly where such increases could place significant financial burdens on students. The Commission further warned that any unilateral fee hikes undermine the government's effort to promoting equitable access to tertiary education and could negatively affect enrollment, especially among students from low-income households. GTEC has therefore directed all public universities to strictly comply with the laid down procedures for fee determination and approval, cautioning that any institution found to have breached these directives could face sanctions. Now, the Efia in Kwesimintim Municipal Assembly in the Western Region has issued a final warning to squatters and owners of temporary structures along parts of the Takoradi Cape Coast Highway to vacate the area or face eviction. The directive affects structures from the PTC interchange to Mappies Junction following the expiration of a grace period granted during stakeholder engagement on the Takoradi Cape Coast Road reconstruction project under President Mahama's Big Push agenda. The Assembly says it will no longer entertain appeals and all affected persons are expected to leave before the end of the first week of January 2026. Western Regional Correspondent Abraham Mensah joins us live from Efia Kwanta with some Efia Kwesimintim with details. Abraham, if you can tell us how much of a problem the squatters really pose to this project.
So the understanding we've had is that the engagement started right after the president broke ground for the project. However, because these temporary structures are supporting the economic livelihood of the affected persons, it's become quite a challenge, particularly given the political nature of such eviction exercises being carried out in the Western region. There's been extensive engagement. However, there seems to be a bit of a resistance on the part of the affected persons. The Member of Parliament, for instance, had stood out strongly that there was quite a short notice given to these persons to evict. I'm speaking in respect of the December 13th ultimatum that was announced earlier. He assured that he was going to engage further with the Assembly to see whether or not there could be some extension of time, probably for months after the expiration of the deadline. But it appears the contractors have already started working, mainly from the Commander section, even to Impinton and then kuchoko. And they wanted to get these areas cleared so that they could even then consider the next phase, which will be evaluation of the physical properties, the permanent structures that have been mounted on this stretch that have been identified for the expansion of the works. The message from the MCE is that the first week of January, they expect that all these quarters should move. The consequence, however, has not been strongly articulated yet, but it is obvious that if you miss the deadline, you suffer some demolition of your property.
Abraham, I want you to hold on as we listen to the MC, and I'll come back to you.
But from the day one of the we came out for the sensitization till date, people have been moving out of the highway, and we believe that there won't be too much of restriction, because Efia is actually welcoming this development. It's something that is going to help our community, something that is going to promote businesses, something that's going to promote our mobility, okay, within the Greater Sekenita Kwadi Metropolis. We're not expecting any kind of restriction onwards. This coming weekend, we're expecting that the contractor will get people to come and be felling some of the trees to make way for them to start their jobs, work freely.
And you had the MC for the Efia-Kwesi Mintim Municipal Assembly. We still have our correspondent on the line with us. If you can help us with his name, and really, let me ask you two questions in one. The kind of assurances being given by the contractor that this project will begin despite these challenges that we're reporting about.
So that was Majid Dokurugu, the MC for Efia-Kwesi Mintim. And the assurances are quite strong. When you look at what is happening from the Commander stretch, even far towards Atabaze, there's been some clearing being done. Some trees that have been planted along the major sections on the highway have been cut. What is left now is that when you look at the Greater Sekenita Kwadi area, the part around Fijai towards the PTC interchange is filled up with a number of temporary structures, and they fear, because there is a history of resistance when it comes to evacuating squatters on state property. So yes, as much as they wanted to get the thing, to get them moved, they also wanted to do it on a humane approach. So the engagement has been done on several occasions, together with the MCE. The Member of Parliament has also been involved, and the Ghana Highways Authority is only waiting for the Assembly to evacuate all these persons to move in and start clearing the way to start the project.
Indeed.
The other appeal, which is coming from the Member of Parliament, is that they should give them some time, in the sense that the work is supposed to start from the Cape Coast stretch towards the PTC. So it would be quite a haste to go about, stressing parents, and mainly given the kind of lifestyle, the kind of connection people have to these kind of properties they have on the road. It will be a bit of a challenge for persons to move on a shorter notice for the project to commence.
Thank you so much, Abraham Mensah, for that comprehensive report. He's our Western Regional correspondent. From there, we go to the northern part of the country, where we understand that calm has been restored to Dondoli, a suburb of Wa in the Upper West region, after violent clashes between one family over a parcel of land. The sad incident, which occurred on Tuesday night, the 30th of December 2025, saw two people dead, with one person still battling for his life at the regional hospital, under police supervision. I'm joined on the line now by Ibrahim Wangara. He's our correspondent there as well. Wangara, we understand calm has been returned to the area. What more can you report?
Yes, absolutely. Calm has since returned to the Dondoli enclave. And what we also know is that the two individuals who lost their lives in the clash have also been buried according to the Islamic tradition and customs. With the police, it's expected to be sent to remand today. That is what we are getting from the perspective of the police in the Upper West region. However, the Member of Parliament for West Central constituency, Dr. Hassan Rashid Ilpu, has also been commenting on the incident. He visited the families and the area where the sad incident occurred, and then he has been calling for peace and also assured that they are going to do everything possible to ensure a lasting peace is brought to the area. Let's take a listen to Dr. Hassan Rashid.
This was just a trigger, and the trigger shows that there is a deep-seated discontent and anger amongst the family, the same family which has resulted into this situation. So we will urge that we will continue to try to find out what happened and what can be done to resolve the matter, either by police intervention or the judiciary, the court intervention. We have to stop this from now so that eventually there can be peace in this family, which has had this serious conflict resulting in the loss of lives. Well, first, let me first of all thank the security services for the immediate intervention and stoppage of what could have been a wider conflict.
And you had there Dr. Rashid Pelpo. He's the Minister for Employment and also the Member of Parliament for Wa Central. Okay, we've lost our correspondent there, but you had our correspondent Ibrahim Wangara earlier bringing us an update on the fact that calm has returned to that part of the country following a clash within one family over a parcel of land that led to the death of 2 individuals and one other person currently recovering at the hospital. Some 13 minutes past the hour of 12. You're still here on the midday news on 3FM 92.7. Now, the Ghana Police Service, through its Special Support Unit, has arrested 3 suspects in connection with a string of armed robberies in parts of the Greater Accra region. The police say in a statement that the suspects were picked up following intelligence-led operations in Afienya, Atadika, Apollonia, and surrounding communities where residents had reported repeated robbery incident. Police say the 5 suspects, Seth Tete, also known as Wanda, was arrested on 24th of December after he was taken into custody at the Atadika police station for his alleged role in several robberies in the area. During interrogation, Mr. Seth Tete reportedly admitted to his involvement in multiple robbery attacks across Afienya, Atadika, Apollonia, Spintex Road, Airport Residential Area, Community 18, Ashaiman, Mataiko, and Oyibi, and revealed that he operated with other accomplices. Acting on further intelligence, the police operatives moved to Castle Fanko on the 26th of December 2025, where they arrested 2 additional suspects, Selasi Emmanuel and Sule Mana Osman, at the hideout. A search conducted at the location led to the recovery of 1 pump-action gun, 1 BB cartridge, 1 Bruni pistol, and 3 rounds of ammunition. The items have been retained as exhibits to aid ongoing investigations. All 3 suspects are currently in police custody, assisting with investigations, while police say efforts are underway to dismantle the wider robbery network and arrest all persons connected to criminal activities. Now, engaging traditional leaders and empowering the youth has taken center stage in the fight against drug abuse in the northern region. The Ghana Police Service, through the IGP Special Operations Team, has also intensified community outreach and intelligence-led operations to curb drug abuse and related crimes, beginning with the stakeholder engagement in Myung. Stanley Niblo has the rest of the story.
In line with the Ghana Police Service's ongoing efforts to combat violence, violent crime, drug abuse, and drug peddling, the IGP Special Operations Team has engaged chiefs, youth, and key stakeholders in the Myom district as part of a preventive policing strategy. The engagement was held at Myom following an invitation from the Myom Kurusabili Association. It is aimed at educating the public, especially the youth, on the dangers of drug abuse and strengthening community collaboration in crime prevention. The police team joined the homecoming ceremony of the Myon Kurusabiliyili Association, where DSP Bawa Abdul Jalil delivered a keynote address under the theme Educate to Empower, Building a Drug Abuse-Free Society, a Collective Responsibility. The event attracted several high-profile personalities, including Member of Parliament for Myon constituency, Alhaji Adam Mohamed Misbah. Following the engagement, the IGP Special Operations Team moved into active operations based on intelligence gathered. At Myon, one Abdullah Idrisu was arrested for possession of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp and 14 sachets of tramadol. In Yendi, police arrested Abdullah Mutala for possession of suspected Indian hemp, along with 4 others: Abdul Razak Muftau, Hafishatu Abdul Razak, Idrisu Nuruddin, and Al-Hassan Muhammad for possession of 18 sachets of tapentadol 250 milligrams.
Actually, I was in that, but when I heard about the IGP Special Task Force, I decided to stop it.
While returning to Tamale, the team responded to a distress call from the Gukwe Task Force, leading to the interception of Yaya Foseni and Majid Sedu, also known as Guona. The suspects were found with 10 compressed parcels each of dried leaves, suspected to be Indian hemp, and were officially handed over to the police.
Stanley Niblo filed that report. Let's bring you some more here. The General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, RCU, Ghana, Morgan Ayawene, has urged Ghanaian workers to recommit themselves to productivity, discipline and national development as the country enters the new year of 2026. In a statement to members and workers across the country, the General Secretary said workers must not rest on their oars, but instead work diligently to boost productivity at the enterprise level, describing it as a key requirement for economic growth and national development. There's more in the following report.
He emphasized on the need for strong work ethics, noting that the current economic climate demands greater commitment from workers to support national progress. He urged workers to set aside attitudes that undermine economic advancement and actively support government initiatives. The ICU General Secretary Morgan Ayawene also appealed to employers to foster healthy industrial relations by creating worker-friendly environments that promote peace and harmony at the workplace. Touching on the role of government, he called for a formulation of practical and workable economic policies aimed at stimulating business and industrial growth, warning that unemployment levels in the country are becoming increasingly worrying. He acknowledged the positive economic atmosphere created under the government's reset agenda, but stressed that it must be sustained through concrete actions that improve the living standards of Ghanaians. Morgan Ayawene also raised concern about discussions surrounding private sector participation in the Electricity Company of Ghana, cautioning against the outright sale of the power distributor.
That was a news desk report. The whole Central Mosque has been closed temporarily following a directive issued by the Volta Regional Coordinating Council on Wednesday. The closure of the mosque forms part of recommendations by the Regional Security Council following a bloody shooting incident that took place at the mosque on Friday, the 26th of December 2025. Correspondent Faisal Abdul Idrisu has been monitoring happenings there. He joins us live on the line with some updates. Abdul, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, so on Monday, the Regional Security Council met following that bloody shooting on Friday, 26 December 2025. And one of the decisions they took was to design a roadmap regarding the use of the mosque, because the mosque is becoming a bone of contention between the two factions. And so they indicated also to us after that meeting that they had sought the advice of the Interior Ministry as to what they were going to do. And so I believe that the outcome of that request from the outcome of whatever advice they sought from the Interior Ministry is what we saw on Wednesday when they issued statement that the mosque has been closed. This done, a team of military officers and police officers were at the Central Mosque. They closed it down. A few hours later, some leaders of the Zungu community pleaded that they opened the place for them to pick their praying mats, among other things. They did that, and as I speak to you, the whole Central Mosque is closed. Today being Friday, Juma prayers are supposed to be held at the mosque. Now that it's closed, I spoke to them and they indicated to me that they have since located a new place where they would undertake the Juma prayers and other congregational activities until the timeline given, because the statement issued by RecSec on Wednesday indicated that the mosque is going to be closed for 2 weeks. And so we are waiting to see what happens after the 2 weeks, because earlier the conversation with the regional minister, they indicated that they were going to design a roadmap. So within the 2 weeks, we are waiting to see what RecSec will come up with again regarding the use of the mosque. But today, as I speak to you, the whole central mosque has been shut down temporarily.
So where did the people pray? I know you said they went to pick their mats. Do you know?
Yes, they indicated to us that they have since located a new place. And so there's just a few hours to Juma prayers. And so preparations are already underway. A new place is where they'll be praying. So we'll go there and observe how things will pan out as far as today's Juma prayers are concerned.
Indeed, aside from the request to pick their mat, what has been the general reaction to this decision to close this central mosque?
Well, the closure of the mosque comes to them not as a shock, but they do not think it is appropriate, because in 2021, when the mosque was closed, then you look at the population here in the whole Zongo, there were times they needed to pray, and the space to pray was a problem for them. At the time, because it was during Ramadan, it was even more difficult for them as far as the closure of the mosque is concerned. And now that it's been shut down again, it means in these 2 weeks, they definitely will be struggling. But there are a number of mosques in the Zongo, except that they are very small, so people would have to now move to the smaller mosques to pray. And then when it comes to the Friday prayers, which is the Juma prayers, that is where they would have to converge at one place, a much bigger space. And so definitely it is something they find a bit more inappropriate, but they are not surprised because of the happenings on Friday.
Before you go, I know the shooting incident shocked a number of residents there. Would you say that they are recovering from that incident?
Yes, they are recovering. They are recovering because ever since the incident happened, there has been several assurances from RecSec and also the municipal security council that they were going to ensure that the place, the peace and stability of the place is not jeopardized. Ever since there have been military presence, there have been police presence in and around the mosque. Even though it is not this is a new way of life to them, people are recovering. Like I said last week, businesses operating around the mosque are still operating. Nobody has shut down, and so they have recovered, I must say, except that the underlying issues are still there. These underlying issues are issues that will take time to be resolved. And so when you speak to people, they tell you they are apprehensive of the fact that the issues are still there. But in the interim, they are moving about with their daily activities.
Indeed, wonderful. Thank you very much, Faisal Abdul Idrisu. He's our Vulture Regional Correspondent. The new year 2026 has opened with a surge in local tourism as increasing numbers of Ghanaians alongside foreign visitors throng Mole National Park in Damango to usher in the new year. The growing interest reflects a rising appetite among locals to explore Ghana's natural heritage, with Mole National Park emerging as a top destination for adventure, relaxation, and close encounters with wildlife. Known for its rich biodiversity, expansive landscapes, and immersive safari experiences, the country's largest national park has become a magnet for both domestic and international tourists. Christopher Marco brought us some more updates.
On 31st night, the park was buzzing with visitors eager to explore the safari to catch a glimpse of the creatures. Antelopes, crocodiles, and other species of birds were sighted. Scores of local travelers, alongside other tourists from around the world, took turns to get a feel of what they term as an unforgettable experience.
Well, we have chosen a Mole Park because Mole Park is a special place for kids, where we are coming to learn from the natural environment, to learn how the natural habitats are, their mode of behavior, their character, their lifestyle. My Mole Park is closer to our region.
Management of the park expressed excitement over the numbers recorded.
The turnout so far has been encouraging as compared to last year, but we hope that from tomorrow on going, second, third going, a lot of people will now understand and appreciate that before they resume work, they need to distress themselves actually of the everything that had eaten their time, taking their time within last year. So it will be good they come around this year, experience nature while away from the noises and everything that stresses them out there.
Play is a home away from home. It's a place where you can relax, you can think about life. This festive season, starting from about last 2 weeks, 22nd or so, it's a very nice place to visit.
The Moli National Park, one of Ghana's 7 national parks, is the country's largest wildlife refuge and covers an area of about 4,577 square kilometers.
Christopher Mwako forwarded that report from the northern region. And that's it for the Midday News here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.